It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Yeah. This week, starring something we've never done before, creating moods for film, TV, and commercial music licensing. Yeah. Doesn't take much to get me excited, does it? Welcome to the big show, everybody. Let's get the chat room open so I can see who's here. There they are. Hi, guys and gals. All right, Bubbles, Musical Lucy, Kaz, Amanda, Ken, Giza, Flufferpuff, Rob, Dunop, Richard Charles, Brittany Stepp, McGaith, Jesse, Peter Rahill. Everybody's here. Vicky, Greg, Element, Brandon, Kale. Hey, Kale, how are you, buddy? Anyway, hope you guys had a good weekend. Getting my little screens organized here. Hopefully I don't blow anything up in the process. There we go. All right, so I'm really psyched for today's show. Something, I think I've been doing Taxi TV now for like 6 years, maybe even going on 7. And it's really tough coming up with new ideas all the time. I don't want to recycle stuff too often. I do tend to recycle stuff because not everybody's been watching all the shows for all these years. So when I come up with something new, I'm excited about it, and I want you guys to share in this because I think it's a really super important thing that not a lot of people think about when they're creating music. They don't think about either before they create it or after. What mood am I going to create, or what mood have I created? So, as you know, for film and TV, mood counts for so much, whether it's instrumental or songs. It's all about the music working with the mood of the scene, the emotion of the scene, supporting that, enhancing it. And I think that a lot of times we hear music here that's really, really good music, but it's not really right for a mood. You go, what would you do with it? So therefore, publishers don't want to sign it, even though it's really, really good. It could be the greatest song on the planet, but they don't want to sign it if they can't see that it's going to get used somewhere. And certainly supervisors won't use it unless they've got a way to use it. It's got to work in a scene. Music is rarely the star. Sometimes it is, but not very often. So more often than not, it's the supporting cast, if you will. So with that, I want to start out by rattling off, and these were some moods that I grabbed off the internet that I thought were applicable for film and TV. I'm sure you could come up with more. I didn't want to make it so long that it was tough to deal with, but the moods that I've got so far in this list, and I added one since I sent out the email to you guys, moods are adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, which is pretty broad, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful. I forgot to mention when I was up in the F's, I forgot foreboding. That's the one that I penciled in. Foreboding is and not foreboding like we're going out on the lake in Grandpa's boat, but foreboding. Where did I leave off? Joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, or mischievous as we say in Illinois, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud. Those have a lot of plosives. Quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, and whimsical. So there you have it. That's my list of moods for this week's episode. So I've been trying to think what we can do as far as how we should do this. I don't think we're ever going to be able to get an accurate count from what everybody thinks, and I'm curious to see if we get a whole lot of agreement or if we get stumped. Very often we get music here and we go, damn, that's good, but doesn't have a mood, or doesn't fit a genre. And genre and mood obviously are not the same things. But when a supervisor asks us for, like blues rock, I want foreboding blues rock, and the music is not blues rock, and it's not foreboding. Um, what do you do with that? And like I said, could be the greatest song in the world, but ain't gonna get a forward, not gonna get used. And I am gonna open up my Rockstar, my weekly Rockstar baby. As Bria pointed out on Twitter today, we're running dangerously low on Rockstars. Refreshing. Okay. So Richard Charles says this is a great idea for a show. I gotta say, I was rather pleased with myself when I came up with it. I just saw Amanda says, I just turned in my downloads, although I assume it's too late. Bria mentioned to me before, and I made a little note here. There's the note. That half of all the things that people posted had links to stream the music on SoundCloud, but they didn't set up their SoundCloud or whatever, not necessarily just SoundCloud, but people didn't include a way to download the music, only to stream it. Well, we've got to download it to put it on the show. So, guys and ladies, please make sure that when you give us stuff in the future for the show, that you set that song to download capable. I don't know how you do that on SoundCloud, but apparently you can. Even if you just do it long enough to let us have access and then you deactivate that feature. Also, I need to criticize producer Bria because she walked past me about a minute before I went live on the air holding an entire pint of Haagen-Dazs today, and that is so bad to do to your boss. You don't walk by the boss holding Haagen-Dazs, going the other direction. No way, dude. So I'm sitting here thinking, this is sugar-free. I have a sweet tooth, and Bria's down there right now. As I'm doing the show, she's sitting there watching her computer going, eating Haagen-Dazs. So producer Bria, you are in the doghouse. All right, so how shall we do this, guys? Let us play the stuff. We're not going to say whose it is, and I don't really think we need to comment on how good or bad, or if something needs to be fixed. I don't think we should go to those comments today. I think we should only listen to something and talk about the mood. So when I'm done playing it and you hear that, then start just one word for the mood. And if you can derive your mood words from this list that wherever mine went, that would be awesome. So here we go. And the first thing we're going to hear, appropriately named, Let's Roll. And this one's got lyrics. It's a song with lyrics.
not in the cards. From all the darkness, your love light shines dead, and we made a commitment to love until death, and you never said no. Green light past go, and so here we are in the middle of the altar. Let's roll, 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 roll down the aisle of love. Let's roll, 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 roll into a timeless cold. And show how did we get into this thing called love? Love. Let's roll, roll on down the aisle of love. Let's roll into a timeless cold. And show how did we get into this thing called love? Love. Let's roll.
All right, so I see some people blurting out, wow, nobody's going to agree on this stuff. You know, that tells us something. If you have to guess, only put something up on the screen. There's the list again from Bria. If you know for sure, if you say that is most definitely that mood, if you got to search for what you think the mood could be or might be, probably not going to work in the world of music supervision. So, or in the world of film and TV publishers. So, go ahead, spit them out, guys. Let's see. Yearning. Is yearning a mood? It's not on my list, but I guess it could be. Decision music. That's definitely not a mood. That's an action, I think. Woohoo. Somebody just said all those moods sound like my wife. There's somebody that's not going to be married long after today's episode. Reflective, passionate, wistful, sad, wistful, passionate, pleading, reflective. To me, it had several emotions: romantic, emotional. I actually found it confusing as lyrics said one thing and music said another. Reflective, romantic, anxious, to use words from the list. Anybody else want to toss some out? Where the heck is my pencil? There it is. All right, I'm going to see what I thought it was from the list. Do we have... I don't know if desperate is a mood. Heartwarming, longing, despair, melancholy. I agree with Amanda. Now I don't know what Amanda said because she scrolled off my screen. True about the music and lyrics having different feels. I would tend to agree with that. A few of you have mentioned that, and I agree. It was interesting because it had a pop feel, but it was also yearning, melancholy, and passionate. Right. So several of you said that about a bunch of you actually have said that. I personally agree with it just wasn't, you couldn't listen to 10 seconds of that and know what the mood is, right? Just me personally. So I don't know. I would say that song probably, is not going to get a lot of love from music libraries, film, TV, music publishers, or music supervisors. It just didn't strike me as instantly having a mood to it. So doesn't mean it's a bad song by any stretch. It just means we're talking about moods today, and that didn't have one that was patently obvious. All right. Let's see. I'm not going to go. Maybe I'll go straight down the list. All right. Let's listen. The next one is called Sagittarius A. Here we go. Excuse me. All right. I'm dying to see what you guys think. Remember, we're talking moods, not genres. So, what kind of mood did that make you feel like? What kind of mood would that support? Whoa, they're going by so fast. Playful, quirky, whimsical, all from one person. Reminds me of the movie Light Sleeper, doesn't help. Here comes pensive, waiting for customer service. Where the hell do you shop? Futuristic, not a mood. Bouncy and playful were the first ones that hit me. McGath says angry. Frenzy, not a mood. Futurist, not a mood. Quirky, bouncy, fun, mischievous. Those are probably in the ballpark. Mischievous, fun, playful, anxious, interesting. Video game emoticon. Wendy Landers, no idea. We go music, spastic. I don't think that we've got a mood called spastic on here. Productive. How they make it. Is that what it's called, right? You know that show where they show how they build things. Moodless. I just don't know. Frenetic. Nervous. Bouncy. We got a lot of bouncies. Playful question mark followed by a WTF. Yeah, I didn't know what FML stood for until recently. I thought it was like a prefix and then my initials. A junkie that needs to score. Bright, anxious. Tune up, posted the list again. One of the following. Adventurous. Is it adventurous? Angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful. Where's my list? Blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, or whimsical. Which one was it? And for those, I see a lot of people showed up, of course, 15 minutes into the show. I know, you guys were working and what have you. Anyway, so there goes the list again. Producer Bria has posted the list so all you guys can see. And I added on my list, I penciled in foreboding. I'm going to have to go with quirky. I mean, They're different kinds of quirky, but if there were a scene that needed quirky music, quirky can be a genre, but a quirky mood, this could work for that. Also, somewhat playful. Um, Most people said quirky and playful. Uh, some of us happen to be here at the show on midnight. Uh, okay, so there you go. Interesting. This is a good exercise. Frankly, we should do one of these like once every 6 weeks or something. I think that it's a really good exercise. All right, moving on. This one is called Grief. This one's easy, right? All right. Dying to hear from you guys. That one was so easy, right? Musical Lucy says a man reflecting on the life he had with his wife. She just died from cancer. So talk about specifics. Now we know what she died from. I was thinking like Anna Karenina, somebody dies and somebody else looking at them in the casket. I mean, it was so obvious, such a great piece. If a music supervisor called us up and said, I need something, even so specific as I've got a turn of the century piece shot in Russia, and it's a funeral scene or somebody's in bed dying, in the process of dying, and I need a piece of music for that, this would be a piece of cake. It's so incredibly obvious. People said scene after war, dramatic, emotional, foreboding. I don't know about foreboding. Lonely, melancholy, pensive, reflective, sad. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is a great piece of music that I think could get used a lot. Smoking ruins, Nazi death camp. Yeah. Somebody earlier said Schindler's List. Yeah, absolutely. I could almost hear it. Sounded a little bit like some of the great Russian composers. Tune Creator. Come on. That's not. Never mind. I'm not even going to talk about that. Brianna says it reminds me of some of the newer Jane Eyre movies, where 90% of the movie features someone crying. So true. Anyway, Red Skelton's mime scene. Only those of us over 50 know what the hell that is. Dishwasher gives up on Thanksgiving afternoon. No, how about your TV doesn't work at 12 o'clock high noon on Thanksgiving Day, and you've got 25 people coming over. Yeah, anyway, that was just a great piece of music, and that one should find its way to a scene sooner or later. Okay, we're moving on, and this one is called... Oh, I want to insert something. I was moderating a panel, not this past weekend, but a week ago Saturday in Hawaii, at the Hawaii Songwriters Festival. And we had a bunch, like 5 or 6 different music supervisors on the panel. And I think it was my friend Frank Palazzolo that said, one of the songs that we pulled up was called, like Mix 1, Version 2, MP3. And Frank said something, I think it was Frank, if not somebody else on the panel, certainly other people agreed, that if I get a title that is, like Mix 1, Version 2, MP3, if those things are in the title, I will not even stop to listen to it on my playlist. I just won't. So just giving you guys a heads up. I think that to some degree it signifies a lack of professionalism. There were other reasons given, but frankly, I can't remember them because I didn't have that much sleep this weekend. I'm a little brain dead. So here we go. We are moving on to number 4, which is called Beautiful Wasteland. Oh, shoot. By the way, I want to mention the title of the last one was Grief. It was so obviously grief. So, great title. If you're a music supervisor, Oh, Frank also told me that he auditioned 1,000 pieces of music in an hour. He listens that quickly. He knows in like this long. Nope, not the right kind of thing I'm looking for. On to the next, on to the next, on to the next. So if you're looking at a list of 1,000 pieces of music and you've got a scene where somebody just passed away and the family's around the bed and there's a title called Grief and you pull up that last piece of music we listened to, boom, you're in. The other 972 things on the list probably won't even get heard because you've already got what you need. Why spend the time? All right. One more time, sorry about this person who submitted this next one, which is called Beautiful Wasteland. Okay, was it adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, foreboding, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, scary, thoughtful, or whimsical? I'm dying to see what you thought. Could picture this in Australia. Okay. that, I need a mood, damn it. Give me a mood. Yes, same list as before. Uh, we're not getting a lot of consensus from you guys on this one. Uh, I've got to say, I think that that piece was all over the place. I mean, it's, you know how we always talk about be one thing throughout, especially for an instrumental cue. I mean, this thing changed its mood. I had a hard time identifying what the moods were. I don't think we're getting really any consensus in there. People are reaching for stuff that I don't agree with, but then again, I'm only the king of the world on this show because I'm the one with the camera sticking in my face. But I just I don't think that. Yeah, Cass says the fact that we have to think about it means to me that the mood isn't definitive. Exactly right, Cass. Could not have said it better. So yeah, and it walks all over the place. It starts out as one thing, then becomes another thing. So if you're a music library owner, film and TV publisher, if you're a music supervisor, and you, so I'm going to go back to the top of this for a second, and let's just play the first like 10 seconds. So yeah, you could say that's reflective. There was a movie called The Counselor about a guy who was involved with the Mexican mafia's drug deals. It was out 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a scene when he was out in the desert and he was thinking about something. There was actually another scene where somebody set up a piece of piano wire across a road to decapitate somebody. It could work for that stuff, but then it becomes. So now we've gone off to the Middle East with these little Middle East hand drums, right? Oh shoot, I just scrolled past. Anyway, you get the idea. It becomes several things. I'm going to try and get up to the end of this because there was something in particular. Right here. If you just took those drums, just that drum figure alone, and put 90 seconds to 2 minutes of that with, you know, maybe some little finger bells or other forms of Middle Eastern percussion on there, if that's all you did, that would probably get used much more frequently than this piece because this piece is too many things. Somebody earlier said, asked the question, so do the first three notes matter? I can't pin it down to just three notes, but think about this. The first 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, when you read a book, if the first sentence is great, first of all, if the title and the cover are great, you want to open it up. That's why headlines are so important. Same thing for titles of songs. It telegraphs what's inside, and then you open it up, and if you read a really captivating first sentence in an article, a book, anything, you're going to keep reading, right? Music is the same. If the first few seconds captivate you, you're in for the duration, most likely, at least long enough to know if it works. So, all right, there we go. Every Note Matters is a very cool piece. Yeah, it had a lot of potential. It was actually like 2 or 3 different pieces. Here we go. We're moving on now to track number 5, which is called, here we go. Untitled Guitar Song. Good example of what I'm talking about. I would hope that this person wouldn't send that off to a supervisor or a library calling it Untitled Guitar Song, but possibly Guitar Song number 1 mix 2, right? All right, here we go. Untitled Guitar Song. I've got to pause it for a second. My God, we just went to the Olympics. I don't know what we were doing before that. I wasn't quite sure, but we just left and went to the Olympics. All right. Let me know what you dudes and dudettes think of that. Karate Kid during the Goofy Stork thing. All right. There's the list again. Adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined. I would say determined possibly in a section. Dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, foreboding, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, possibly inspiring at points, but not all of it. Joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, and whimsical. So now you guys see why a lot of stuff doesn't get forwarded from Taxi. Not a bad piece. It had potential, but what it did was try to score a whole scene. Started out going back to the top. Background, like up close and personal. Think Olympics. We're in the up close and personal segment about this guy that was tragically squished in a car accident 3 years ago. Johnny wants to be an Olympic athlete. He had to work hard. He had to exercise his butt off. He had to learn how to walk all over again. Johnny's family is so proud of him. Come on, I need the music to shift here. We're getting hopeful. Johnny's on his feet. Will Johnny ever walk? Will Johnny ever run? Will Johnny ever throw that shot put again? Not in this piece of music, he won't. Oh, yes. Oh, it's going on too long. Yes, there's hope. This is hopeful, right? Did the car survive? There's Johnny's on his feet. Johnny's running faster than ever before. Okay, so you get the idea. If this were scoring a scene, it could work because it does tell a story. But if you're looking for a piece of music that's like hopeful and anthemic, the part where it takes off, that's proud, it's anthemic, it's determined, it's inspiring, could be motivational. There was a lot of potential in that big section. Get rid of the ending and get rid of the beginning and just take that middle section, and then you've got something that's usable. Now, I'm not on anything today, Amanda. I am on adrenaline because I had like 3 hours of sleep going from Saturday night to Sunday. Just got in bed and couldn't sleep. And then last night I stayed up till about, I worked almost all weekend. I couldn't like unwind last night, so I stayed up late. And adrenaline combined with Rockstar. Sorry, nothing else. Johnny lost his wallet, then found it. Larry Whittier says Flashdance. Okay, anyway, it sounds like 2 bars of 4/4, 1 and 2/4. Yeah, it was just anyway, you got to get it all right. You can't say, well, part of it was anthemic because we couldn't really give it to somebody and say, hey, Mr. Music Supervisor, we've got this thing that if you get through the first minute and 32 seconds, the anthemic stuff kicks in because they're going to have so much stuff that is anthemic from top to bottom. And maybe, you know what, take the first, like, and then boom, right into the big stuff. Okay, moving on to number 6 because I've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. This one is called Night. Let's have a listen. Oh, I remember this. I checked this out. Hello? Anybody home? Why, no. The fade up took so long that my buddy Frank Palazzolo would have hit the fast forward button and been on to the next piece of music. Oh, you guys are mean. And here we go again. We're off into yet another world. If we don't learn anything else from this episode, let's learn to stick to one central theme or emotion. Jacques Cousteau made Sandra Bullock. I was just going to hit the applause button. I thought it was over. Can the client use edit points to fit in a scene? That's a valid question, but more often than not, they'll go with just one thing because it's just easier. They don't like to create extra work. If they absolutely loved it and it was so much better than the other stuff that was just one thing, they would. All right, best comment was Peter Rahill. Ketchup and zero gravity. And there's no question that this would work well for a space scene. I just rewatched the movie The Martian. Pretty decent movie. There were scenes that this could work in, but went a lot of places. Anyway, was it adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, possibly, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, possibly. But if you have to think about it, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, and whimsical, or foreboding. Was it any of those? Somebody tell me. Ethereal, reflective, adventurous. I don't know about the adventurous. It might lead up to something adventurous. It was too many of the above. I tend to agree with Mojo on that. Reflective, ethereal, yeah, you know, if we're trying to go, it could be this, then it's probably not enough of that. Ethereal is coming up a lot. So yeah. All right, you guys are in rare form today. You thought I was being funny? No, you guys are funny. Oh, how you like my little? It's called a damn it doll. One of our taxi members brought this to me several years ago, and I keep it in my office. Whenever I get ticked off at somebody, I poke little pins in it, and or you can just beat it senseless. Whew. Apparently, it's been hanging out in the dust far too long. Okay, moving on. Next song. This one is actually a song. It's got lyrics, and it's called "Next Mistake." Oops.
I've heard your love is taken, but you feel so right tonight. Forget about your promises. Let's get lost in the sights of life. 'Cause it's been such a long, long time since I felt this way. And I'm ready to jump, I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to be your next mistake. Your next mistake. I'm ready to be your next mistake. Don't talk us off this ledge. Let's take a running start. Throw caution to the wind. Unlock the chains round my heart. 'Cause it's been such a long, long time since I felt this way. And I'm ready to jump, I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to be your next mistake. Your next mistake. I'm ready to be your next mistake. I'm asking you politely to make me worth the risk. 'Cause babe, I've gotta have you, and no just won't do. 'Cause it's been such a long, long time since I felt this way. And I'm ready to jump, I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to be your next mistake. Your next mistake. I'm ready to be your next mistake.
There's my audience. Okay, I think we all like that one, right? Most of us. Let's see what you guys thought for a mood. What kind of mood does this song portray? And there we go. Bria posted the mood list again. Was it adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, possibly, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, foreboding, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive. I'm giving you little hints there. Scary. Depends on what this lady looks like. Thoughtful or whimsical. Which one was it? Wow, everybody's got an opinion. It was James Bond. Thanks, Bubbles. It was James Bond in emotion. Um, Foreboding someone will end up dead. Very Jessica Rabbit. Um, Kittens facing neutering. What the hell are you guys on today? Dear God. Close to seductive, but it seems to need to commit a bit more. The music is a bit cautious. Interesting. Um, I think the point of the song was she's ready to make the next mistake, right? I think I might have a lyric on that. I've heard your love is taken, but you feel so right tonight. Forget about your promises. Let's get lost inside some lies. Because it's been such a long, long time since I felt this way, and I'm ready to jump. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to be your next mistake. Your next mistake. I'm ready to be your next mistake. Don't talk us off this ledge. Let's take a running start. Throw caution to the wind. Unlock the chains around my heart. So this is a woman who's ready for action. I'm going to go with seductive. I think that seductive. I mean, in this song, in my opinion, yeah, if I got a call from a supervisor, you know what? You could use this in a funny way too. You could use it. Let's say you had a couple of 12 or 13-year-olds at summer camp that were falling in love and they were getting ready for their first kiss out behind a tree somewhere. Or a couple of senior citizens in an old folks' home. And they were attracted to each other. So it doesn't always have to be exactly what you think it's going to be. You know, that might be too on the nose, but clearly it would work for a smoky, boozy, seductive-y scene, but it might be funny used in, what's the word I'm looking for? Not conjunction, the opposite, something that I know Mojo will know this word. Not confluence. Help me, Mojo. It's the word I'm looking for when something is like the opposite of what you think it should be. Jesse says she will be his next mistake. Prenup. Not convoluted. Anyway, you get the idea. Something, you know, I think this would be very funny if you had like a Jack Lemmon or Walter Matthau falling in love with an elderly woman in a senior facility. Anyway, that's just my sick sense of humor. Ironic, that's a word. Hey, Mojo must be out making dinner. No, not Divergent. Anyway, all right, moving on. This next one, but that last one's a good song. Well done. Incongruent. That could be it. Yeah. There's a con in there. This one is called From the Deep. Let's have a listen. building. All right, that was a well-constructed cue, was it not? I thought that was really, really good. Really well done. Congratulations to the person that sent that in. I'm curious to see what you guys said. I already wrote mine down. I won't change my opinion based on which way the Jack Bauer running after somebody. Now, Jack Bauer doesn't chase people, he shoots them. Remember the episode where Jack Bauer needed to get out of, he was trying to get into an embassy or out of an embassy, and all these people were gathering around him. There was going to be a riot or something. And he heard in his earpiece that he was identified, and somebody said, "Get out, Jack, they know who you are." So he just turns around and shoots somebody in the knee so that the crowd freaks out, parts, and he runs out of there. It was awesome. I love Jack Bauer. Adventurous, dramatic, epic, possibly. I mean, it could certainly work in an epic film. Exciting. Do we have exciting on the list? Yeah, we do. Adventurous, determined, maybe a little desperate. Well, you're desperate to get away from the bad guys, or desperate to catch them, maybe. Yeah, I wrote down Jason Bourne. It definitely reminded me of the Bourne trilogy or quadruple E or whatever they're up to now. There is a new Jason Bourne movie coming out. I love those. I wrote down dramatic and action. Let's see, dramatic. I can't read my own writing. There's a dog barking outside. No, it's not a dog. It's a Pomeranian. Adventurous. That's what I wrote down. Can't read my own writing. Anyway, that was a great cue. And notice, I'm going to go back on this a little bit. Oh no, my little disc is freaking out. Watch how it builds. Builds in intensity, builds in volume, crescendo. That's a really good piece of music. All right. Moving on. This one is called One Accord. That's what you get when you go to a Honda dealership that's been robbed of virtually everything. That's what's left. One Accord. Sometimes I crack myself up. Oh no, my little computer's just freaking out. Here we go. One Accord. Throw them out there, guys. I'm dying to see what you thought of this one. Kung Fu Panda takes on an army of kittens. Driving through China at rush hour. Those are all good scene ideas. What would you say the mood was? Was it adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, or whimsical? And that's what I would look like if I were using, what are those things that presidents use that they put the words up on? Can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about. Teleprompter. That's as close as I've ever come to using a teleprompter, is Bria putting the list of moods up there. Several people saying determined, dramatic. Mildly epic doesn't cut it, Gacy. You can't be mildly epic. Anthemic. Yeah, I don't agree with that one. It's just my personal opinion. A laptoprompter. Good one, Sasha. Oh, triumphant isn't on the list. I don't know that that I would think that was necessarily triumphant, but that's a good one. Ooh, I might have to use that in some of our listings. Triumphant. It's an Olympic year, right? Yeah, libraries are probably looking for Olympic music. Anthemic for library music for Olympics. Triumphant, anthemic. Heartwarming, optimistic. Those are all moods that would work for Olympic music. I hate the Teletubbies. Doesn't everybody hate the Teletubbies? I think not even little kids really like the Teletubbies. I think it's just the only thing that they're too short to change the channel, or they don't know how to work the remote yet. All right, moving on. Next one is called Joy in the Mountains. So that's actually, you can kind of imagine what this is going to sound like, I think. Let's find out. Joy in the Mountains. going to do a fade on this one. I'm doing a fade because I've got a couple more to play and I don't have a lot of time. I've got to end the show a little early today. So, what do you think? What would you guys call that one? Adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, ecstatic, epic, emotional, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, mischievous, motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, or whimsical. Excuse me. Oh, damn it. Mojo said something funny and it scrolled off my screen already. Cheerful, happy, heartwarming, hopeful, joyful, motivational, optimistic, reflective, thoughtful, happy, bouncy, bright. So at least you guys aren't having that damn dog is barking its butt off out there. Fox Cub sniffs a turtle per Mojo. Love a good guitar tune. Don't we all? Fun, happy kittens, playful kittens eating organic food. All right, so quite a bit of agreement. What's that show with where they only have like a litter of puppies or a litter of kittens, and they follow them through the first few weeks of their lives or something. I can't remember the name of it. That could work. This certainly could work for that. It was definitely joyful and cheerful, all those good things. There was one other thing it was, in my opinion, and that is, although this person was clearly a good guitarist, it was kind of a tour de force of his or her, in this case his, abilities. Like, wow, that dude can play. But it's also a little too busy. It would totally distract you if you're watching that show with the little, like a basket full of kittens or puppies and a pen, and they would have a voiceover announcer on there. This was so good, his playing was so good that your ear would be drawn to the person's ability. You could cut a lot of those eighth notes out there and make it keep the same melody, the same guitar tone, and make it much less busy, much less complex, much less frenetic. Love that word, frenetic. We stick it in a lot of our listings, and now you know why. Anyway, good piece, but I would calm it down a little bit and would probably get more forwards, more placements, all that good stuff. Moving on, number 11. This one is called No Clue. Let's find out. Do we have a clue? All right, cough them up. I want to see what you guys would label that one. What mood did that convey? By the way, when I just dropped my pencil, I bent down to pick it up. I just found the granola bar I lost like a month ago. It's underneath the. You ever have one of those moments where you drop something and no matter what you do, you can't find it? I just found my granola bar. And I bet you if we came back 100 years from now, that granola bar would still be sitting there. All right. Dramatic could certainly be. Scary, anxious, chainsawed kittens. Spooky drama, I don't think that's on the list. Dramatic, ethereal, foreboding, I think it could be foreboding. Solo astronaut chasing a monolith in 2001. Anxious. I think it was more scary than anxious. It didn't quite have like the minor chord thing going on that signifies angst. Tim Walter agrees with you, not me. Last month's granola bar, yum. Yeah, you know what? When the show's over, I'm probably going to eat it. Oh, Megea says, don't eat it. So does Charles Wilson. God, you guys are very protective of me. The music is warning you not to eat that granola bar. Oh, man. Don't bite the hairy side. No, it's one of those dry ones. Okay, moving on. I've got one more to play. This one is a song, and it is called The End Is Near. I was previewing the lyric sheet, and I'll just bet you that this one could have been written for a specific brief, because it seems like the song has an unusual theme that you wouldn't normally write about. So I'm curious to know if this was written for a brief or not. Anyway, here we go. The end is near, and it is the end of the show, damn it.
Mama, hold me tonight. Mama, hold me tonight. The world's been gone so long, no light will shine tonight. Daddy, give me your hand. Daddy, give me your hand. The world's been gone so long, no man can surely stand.
Yeah, stick to the list. All right. I'll spit it out. What do you guys think? Melancholy. Thoughtful. Hopeful. Hopeful and bouncy. You're kidding, right, Asaf? So Clark Van Norris came out of the closet, as it were, on that one. I mean, how did? Well, you know what I mean. He coughed it up that it's his song. Was that written to a brief? And don't mention the company name again. Was that written to a brief or a taxi listing or something? 'Cause we just had a listing, didn't we, for apocalyptic songs for um, blues rock for an apocalyptic with an apocalyptic lyric. I'm also curious. Was that you singing on that, Clark? I mean, yeah, Clark. Pessimistic. Is that on the list? No, but if we have optimistic, I guess pessimistic should be on there. They filmed The Walking Dead where I live. Nice. Don't you live in where do you live, Georgia? Not everything can have a one-word description, but that's the idea. Emotional, dramatic. Is my friend Chinawa? Chinawa Hawk? Hopefully, I'm not butchering his or her. Well, it's a him because I heard him sing. Yeah, really cool vocal. Song could stand on its own as a single. Mournful. Move away from the cemetery. Um, yeah, state of Georgia has really good tax breaks for the production side of the business, so a lot of people film there. So was it adventurous, angry, anthemic, anxious, blissful, bouncy, bright, cheerful, determined, dramatic, yes, ecstatic, epic, emotional, yes, depending on the scene, ethereal, exciting, fun, happy, foreboding, possibly, heartwarming, no, hopeful, oh, no, the opposite of hopeful, humorous, inspiring, joyful, lonely, melancholy, yeah, to some degree, huh? Motivational, optimistic, playful, pensive, proud, quirky, reflective, romantic, sad, seductive, scary, thoughtful, and whimsical. Um, MJ Green says, "This is a great show. Really gets you thinking about the emotion." Thank you, MJ. That was the whole point. I wanted you guys to think about this. I mean, I can't think of anything that will so quickly increase your chances of getting your stuff placed in film and TV. You know what? If you work on a piece of music and you can start out by, if you're one of those people that works well, saying, I'm going to sit down today and write a melancholy piece. By the way, emotionally up-tempo stuff, in my opinion, and probably statistically, will get used a lot more frequently than emotionally down-tempo, sad, melancholy stuff. People tend to write the melancholy stuff, the sad stuff. It seems like it must be easier. I don't know why that is, but TV commercials, like 98% of them use emotionally up-tempo stuff. People want to feel good. Um, Peter Harper says, love this. Thanks, Michael. You're welcome. I love doing these things. I love teaching you guys these simple little things that those of us in the industry have learned, that we know it because we're around it all the time, every day. And if you're kind of out there in the world, it just may never cross your mind. You sit down to write a piece of great music, but you probably don't think, what could this be used for? What would increase my chances of getting it used? And I know that some people are very artistic and creative and they don't want to think that way. I don't want to write what people want or need. I just want to do what I do, and hopefully they'll line up at my door with their checkbooks ready. But it doesn't happen as quickly or as easily that way. Anyway, are mood and emotion synonymous in this case? To some degree, yeah. People, they do interchange the words. People will say music needs to support an emotion in a scene. People will say it needs to support a mood in a scene. You could have a scene where there's no dialogue. You could have a scene where there are no characters. Think about it. Think of a dirty, dusty bar scene. Oh gosh, what was this show? I think Justified. Timmy Oliphant was in it. Every now and then they would have a scene where somebody would walk into that bar and there was a long shot that like looked down the length of the entire interior of the building. And if the sun was coming in the window on the far end, you would see dust particles floating in there, and you could just like feel the peanut shells on the floor and smell the, stale beer and cigarette smell in that bar. And a piece of music would tell you, it would underscore the emotion for the scene with no people, no dialogue in it. So yeah, you can create an emotion or a mood with just a piece of music and nothing else going on. Sometimes all the scene's emotion is supported by the music. That's absolutely right. What did I write down for the one accord song? I have no idea now because that's how my notes look. So I have no idea. I didn't write them down per song. I just scribbled wherever there was space on the page. I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's it. Back next week with yet another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. Thank you for thinking hard about what that music was, and we will see you next week. Bye, you guys.